Mr. Dodaro, will you please proceed with your statement?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
I'd like to start, though, with the announcement of your retirement first on behalf of myself and all my colleagues at the GAO, to thank you for your service to the country and for being such a steadfast proponent of improving management in the federal government. And we've had the privilege of working with you on many issues on our high-risk programs, human capital, nuclear radiological issues, veterans issues, financial literacy, and the list goes on. And know, though, that when you leave the Senate, you leave with our deep appreciation for your dedication and with the best wishes from all of us to you and your family.
Thank you much.
I think today's hearing is a really good example of what can happen when you have sustained high-level congressional attention and active engagement with the executive branch, and when the executive branch gets organized properly to tackle a problem and gives dedicated, committed, top-level leadership and proper resources, and there's the application of good management practices to tackle a problem at hand. As you pointed out, we put the area on the high-risk list in 2005 for various reasons: backlogs, incomplete investigations and adjudication documentation. Congress held a series of hearings, not only this subcommittee and other committees, a total of 15 hearings in total from the time it was put on the list. The administration organized into this Performance Accountability Council. Top-level officials were dedicated to it. They were supported by staff in their agencies, and metrics were set, which is very important, and that's what I meant by the proper application of management principles. And as a result of dramatic improvements in the timeliness of processing initial investigations from DOD in particular, which covers the lion's share of the investigation and clearances issues, and the establishment of these quality metrics in 2010, we felt comfortable removing the area from our high-risk list with the proviso that there be continued attention and commitment on the part of the executive branch to do this. Now, the real challenge going forward will be to sustain the attention to this area and to enhance the efforts that have been put in place and to make sure that the continued improvements are there and there's not any any potential for there to be slippage in the progress that's already been achieved. And the few areas that I'd point out that I think really need attention is, one, while quality metrics have been introduced, they need to be fully implemented and they need to be refined as the process unfolds and based on experience in applying the quality metrics, and to make sure that they're used government-wide, not just at DOD and at DNI and OPM. I think those would be key developments. Secondly, in terms of the fiscal pressures facing the federal government right now, I think there are opportunities for efficiencies to be gained in the process. I know OPM is looking now at efficiencies in their process and is supposed to have a report next year on that. We're encouraged by that development. We also pointed out in our recent report on overlap and duplication that there were 5 different agencies developing case management systems, and we thought that there was a possibility for overlap and duplication in this area. We made a recommendation to OMB to try to establish policies so that their agencies are leveraging off existing technologies and not making duplicative investments. We're encouraged. OMB agreed with that recommendation and is moving to implement that in that area. I think that can save a lot of money too. As we point out on our testimony, investments in information technology are one of the major cost drivers associated with processing clearances now. And then finally, there needs to be a continued attention to determining and having in place the right process for figuring out who should have a clearance in the first place, and to make sure that only the minimum number of people have them. I know in many cases it's very important to have the flexibility of having people with clearances, particularly at the top secret level, and carrying out the missions of the agencies, but there needs to be an initial process of determining what that number is and keep it at a minimum to make sure. And the same thing is true of when reinvestigations have to be taken place and you have to go through the process over again, because there's a huge difference in the amount of money that's spent to process a top secret clearance versus a secret clearance. And so there are cost implications as well. So in summary, Mr. Chairman, we're very encouraged by the progress with the partnership in the Congress and the administration in this area. Feel comfortable, everything enough to take it off the high-risk list, but that doesn't mean we don't have a watchful eye on this going forward, and congressional oversight, continued attention by the executive branch are pivotal, and we'll do our part as well. So thank you very much, and I'd be happy to answer questions at the appropriate time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dodaro.